Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Surviving Mars here on Mars Monday. Now unfortunately I do have to voice over this video again because I did have some audio issues. Also I can't talk like I normally would because I'm in a different location and don't want to risk waking people up. So this is going to be interesting. But anyways, last time we somehow avoided having any major disasters, mainly because we didn't have a dust storm, we didn't have a cold wave, so we're honestly doing quite alright. Although I am expecting a cold wave or a dust storm or both to come in and hopefully not ruin our day. Hopefully we can manage to get through them okay. Anyways, one thing you might notice is that we are getting quite low on polymers, so I'm going to go ahead and place down another factory to hopefully try and speed up our production, because yeah, we're definitely gonna have a problem if we can't get enough of those. Also, speaking of stuff we have shortages of, our rocket is finally back from trading machine parts for concrete, so that'll be good. We were definitely struggling a little bit on the concrete front. Dust storm approaching. I don't think that sounded anything like the announcer, but yeah, we have a great dust storm on the way. 2 souls and 5 hours to prepare for this. So yeah, because I don't want to make the same mistake we've done several times before, I'm going to go ahead and place down a couple more large oxygen tanks, just so that we can store a bit more oxygen, because I know it's going to leak out. So we're going to want to make sure we have like at least 10 souls of oxygen, just to make sure that if some does leak out, we still have enough. Anyways, checking in on the underground, the miner is full, but it's not sending up any more metals to the surface because the surface isn't requesting anymore, so I went ahead and upped the request amount so that way we can get the metal up on the surface, because yeah, we don't need it underground, we need it up top. I'm also going to place down another medium fuel refinery, because with the extra polymer factory, we're now going through our fuel way faster than we were before, and we need a second factory to keep up with the demand. And now that we have more fuel, we can try and think about maybe doing some of these missions, and now that we have a lot of electronics coming through, we could maybe do this high-speed communication satellite or the SETI satellite, both which would be very useful to do in their own right. Actually, now that I'm just thinking about it, let's go ahead and do the SETI satellite. We have way more than 30 electronics, and $2 billion is nothing to shake a stick at. Anyways, the dust storm has finally arrived, and with it comes pipe leaks and cable faults, and all the nasty things that we don't really like happening. Now, I'll spare you guys from most of the micromanaging, because it was really a lot of micromanaging, but one thing I did do is wherever there was a leak that I couldn't shut off with a switch, I would put a switch on that pipe or cable, so that way, in the future, we can just shut the pipe or cable off with a switch, and then not have any problems. But yeah, this dust storm did have some problems, but luckily, our oxygen reserves didn't really get depleted to the limit until the very end, so there was only like an hour without oxygen, which, not bad. Anyways, as soon as the dust settled, our SETI satellite launched into the sky, netting us $2 billion. This meant we could finally get the second network node built. Just kidding, that had nothing to do with the money. The money hasn't even come into the account yet. It takes 4 souls for the rocket to get there, but we have the electronics, so I went ahead and built the second network node, granting us even more science. And speaking of science, we just finished researching the Martian Observatory, which I'm not actually sure how this thing works, but I'm pretty sure it does allow us to get more science, so yay for science. And after 4 souls, our SETI satellite has finally been deployed. It is now operational and will contribute towards the decades-old mission of finding signs of intelligent life elsewhere in the galaxy. Very exciting. Anyways, with our new money, I decided to go ahead and repurchase the asteroid lander. If you remember, we had to scrap the old one when we were kind of, in the dirt and not doing too well. So we bought a new one, went ahead and renamed it the Falcon 2. So yeah, it is our second asteroid lander. All we need now is to finish researching the Recon Center, and we can finally go visit an asteroid. But speaking of telescopes, the Martian Observatory is finally done, and yeah, it seems like it allows you to select between funding reward and a research reward every time they have a new discovery, which is like a set time thing. So like every couple souls, they have an 8% chance of making a discovery, at least with my observatory, because my people aren't that good. I bet if we had better people, it would probably be higher than 8%. But anyways, I just went ahead and set it to a research reward, because that is we are struggling the most on. Yeah, it's crazy, because we got 2 network nodes and a Hawking Institute. But yeah, we are still struggling on research. We have a lot of high end text to go, and at this rate it's going to take us like 30 souls to get farms, which is not ideal. Flat Mars Society. A message is forwarded to your inbox with the most curious title, Flat Mars Society. Thinking it a mere joke, you read through it and find out that a colonist by the name of Mars Comet 4, who is born on Mars and has never been to space, is propagating the notion that Mars is indeed flat, along with other conspiracy theories which naturally accompany such an idea. Mars Comet 4 has broken no laws thus far, but perhaps something should be done. Whatever. Now, I know I haven't been showing much of the underground, but progress down there has basically stagnated. We haven't built any further pipes because it's out of drone range. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to take this guy, which he's currently getting water, but I think we have enough water for a little bit. I'm going to send him underground so that way he can build the pipe for a bit and then come back up and maintain water. But yeah, we really need to get some extra commanders or something because there's a lot of stuff we need to do out of drone range. Oh, also I traded food for polymer with Russia. I kind of forgot about that, but yeah, there's a little trade offer up there. That's why we have so many polymers now, because we traded some food for it. Anyways, now that we have a drone commander in the underground, I can finally go ahead and clear this rubble to see what's behind it. I was hoping it would be another way to get to the water, but it just turned to be a dead end, which, yeah, great. But yeah, at least we can build the pipes a little bit further, and yeah, hopefully try and reach that other water deposit. And here comes Cold Wave, because the Great Dust Storm wasn't enough. We need both natural disasters today. Luckily, I had made sure that the subsurface heaters had already been warmed up, and cold waves honestly aren't as bad as dust storms. The cable faults and pipe leaks are the real killer in dust storms. Cold waves just make you use a bit more power. So yeah, suffice it to say, we survived the 2 souls of freezing cold with no issues to report. And after waiting for several souls, we are finally ready to begin constructing the medium dome, which got completed really quite fast, might I add. So anyways, the goal for this dome is to provide an absolute absurd amount of housing, which is why I'm placing down this mega apartment. It is bigger than the Arcology Spire, which means we can store a lot of people in this dome with parks and gardens and increase comfort a lot. I'm also going to move a lot of the buildings and services away from these microdomes and the barrel dome. I'm going to move those into the big dome because, yeah, I just kind of want to get rid of these. They're kind of tiny and they're kind of annoying to deal with, so we're going to move everybody into the big dome. Also, a new modded building that I'm placing down is this retro cinema. It provides social relaxation and luxury, but at a higher service comfort than the amphitheater. And it also provides people a place to work, which is actually a problem we're running into. We have a lot of people that don't have anywhere to work because we moved away from places where people work because people didn't want to work, but now that everything's kind of going back to normal, people want to work again, so we need places for them to work. But anyways, I think that's enough buildings for now. I'll go ahead and let the drones build all these out, and then, yeah, I'll just have some spaces empty just for whatever we may be missing. But yeah, we have successfully moved everybody into 2 domes, and this is going to be a lot nicer. We don't have to micromanage 2 different sectors. Everybody will kind of be in this sector over here on the left side, and I do have a plan for where the old domes were. I want to put a big dome there. Oh yeah, and because of all the construction we're doing, we have greatly dwindled our concrete supply, so thank you, Russia, for making this relatively easy. Anyways, construction towards the cave water continues. We have another rock in our way that we need to clear, and yeah, we're getting pretty close. We're not that many pipes away. However, I do need to send our commander back to the surface because having water now is more important than having water later, unfortunately. My goodness, look at all those people in the mega apartment. 85 service comfort, so yeah, obviously not a bad building at all. It's honestly quite good. Yeah, it's got more comfort than these living complexes I'm salvaging, so, you know, it might be a little OP, but you know what, that's fine. Doesn't really matter, does it? Does anyone even care at this point that I'm using cheaty mobs? I feel at this point you guys are just glad I'm making progress. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe for new videos, have a great rest of your day, and yeah, next time hopefully I'll have the audio working properly, but you know, voicing over Surviving Mars isn't that bad, so, you know, maybe it's something you guys like to see, although it does make for shorter videos, which you guys might not like. Sorry. Okay, bye!